Welcome to Building Dreams with Virtue Homes. Today we are joined in the studio by General Manager Nerida Hamilton,
Thank you.
Project Manager Hayden Hardy, and Design Team Manager Marchetti. Thank you all so much for joining me.
No worries.
Thanks, Kristen.
It's good to be here.
Over the course of this podcast, we will be taking you on a building journey with Virtue Homes, offering you the experience of building your own dream home. We will be discussing every step from land selection to initial inquiry through to design selection and being handed the keys to your forever home. We believe that knowledge is power, and that is why we will be chatting with local industry experts and giving you insider tips and advice for building a custom home. We'd like to start by getting to know Virtue Homes and the team behind the award-winning brand. Consider this a bit of a building blind date. Let's start with you, Nerida.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I've been in the industry for just under 30 years. And I started my actual journey, to be honest, in commercial construction. And then I went and worked for a few different local builders, and I've been with Virtue Homes now for just under 13 years.
Oh, wow, that's a long time. So over a decade with Virtue.
Yes. Been a great journey. So I've been really at the start with Mick. So we've sort of started out with a very small team, and then we've sort of built it from there. So it's been very, very rewarding to see what we've got to today.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. And do you still drive past some of the original houses
I do.
that you guys built?
Yes, I remember that home. So, yeah, definitely.
Oh, that continuation must be nice.
It is. It's lovely to see the change of designs and then to see a lot of the stuff that we used to design sort of coming back in and
like a re-emergence of trends and things.
Yeah, definitely. Start to see the full circle.
Oh, that's really
And families, like you'll build for a family and then the next thing, you see the generations grow and then you see their families become older and the next thing they're inquiring to build. And we actually have a lot of repeat builds too, and it's lovely to see those people coming through their journey. So they're a very enjoyable part of the process.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your favourite part of working for Virtue and being in this industry?
100% seeing the home to the end and just the handovers. Like it's people, if you've never built a house before, to invest into building a home and then to go through that journey with them and to know what a big move that is to start with a builder and build that trust and that relationship and to see them at the end and how it never gets any, you never take that for granted. It's actually probably, really wonderful part of the experience.
Oh, that's really special. That's really cool. And so then can you tell me a bit more about your specific role at Virtue and what it is that you do day to day here?
Yeah, for sure. Everyone I want to know this, like all the stuff. What do you do all day, Nerida? So, not general manager, generally bits and pieces. No, it's really just coordinating all the teams. So we have like a highly skilled team of people. So you've got your sales teams, you've got your administration teams, you've got your design teams. So really just coordinating that through that front end and then through into our back end, which is obviously where Hayden comes in, which we've got that back end team. So we actually employ our own guys on site. So you've even got your site teams out there. And we have a lot of sub-trades. It's quite a big business than just what you see in the office. There is a large amount of contractors and different trades and things like that. So so on a day-to-day basis, really just ensuring that the work is flowing, that we're meeting the needs of our customers, that we're working on some sort of strategies of where we want to be as a business, where our market sits and things like that. So that's really where I sit.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is. That's really cool.
It is. I get to interact with a lot of people through the day and through teams and things like that, so it's good.
Amazing. So do you work with the clients as well as with the team?
I do, yeah. Still get involved. Still show my face, helping, especially with the sales team at that front end. So I still enjoy that, and it's something that I still like to get back involved in. Work very closely with our design team with different plans and ideas and where we're at and quality checks and lots of that sort of thing. So it's still very interactive. We're not in a box in an office with four walls that don't come out. It's very collaborative office.
I'd say collaborative.
Yeah,
definitely collaborative.
That's a good word. Yeah, collaborative.
Yeah, and that's a really fun part of the day. We're getting together and chatting about different clients' homes and
the projects that you have on the go.
And seeing what gets produced, even at the front end from a design perspective, and then seeing them finished at the other end and chatting about them. And
amazing. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Nerida. Alrighty, we'll move on to you, Hayden. Can you
Yes.
tell me a little bit about yourself and your role at Virtue?
Yeah, so in the industry, this is really all I've known from being on the tools very early on as an apprentice, to then having numerous roles with different builders, and then finally making the plunge and being involved with Virtue for about 2 years, I think now, since I've come on board.
That's gone quick.
Sorry?
It's gone quick.
It has gone very, very quick. It feels like 6 months, to be honest, but it also feels like about 10 years.
It feels
At
like
the
you've
same
just
time.
been here forever. It's like just
Yeah.
fit in and
I've got that effect on
roll
people
with
somehow.
it.
So then, my role itself is project manager for the housing side of the business. And it is really, as Nerida said, basically taking over from once clients sign their contracts, and the front end team and that sales team, the administrators drafting, do their part. I'll then kind of, I guess, touch base with the clients and be an integral cog, I guess, in their journey all the way through to completion. So
Right.
Working closely
managing
with
the
our supervisor team,
supervisors,
yeah.
managing the supervisors and their kind of workloads to a degree, working with the construction manager as well, and obviously his team and all the chippies, and ensuring that we're building houses in correct timeframes, and we've got orders and deliveries all booked in, scheduled, ready to go.
Amazing.
Definitely that process through.
And you have said that you've worked for other builders in the past. Could you tell me a little bit about the difference of Virtue, compared to other builders? What sort of sets this brand apart?
It's actually, before this, we're actually chatting between ourselves about this a little bit, but I've always kind of looked up to Virtue and their finished product, I guess, and how they deliver that to their clients. Main thing I think that stands out between Virtue, which Nerida touched on, is the collaboration, I think, between everyone in the office. Even from site through to the office, there's usually that very big divide, and I kind of sit in the middle of that. And it's just that collaboration, I guess, that even the supervisors have with the office as well, to make sure that the client's always front of mind, and obviously their finished product and what we're trying to build for these guys.
Feels like a genuine care. Like it really does.
It really is.
The whole team feels like they just genuinely get excited by it.
Yeah, they really do. And it's probably one of the only businesses where I actually see the supervisors actually come into the office on a regular basis and sit with the drafting team or the estimators or sales team when need be. They get involved very early with clients for specific sites or tricky builds as well, which again just highlights that kind of care.
Yeah.
That's where the buildability comes in as well.
100%.
You see different building materials that you guys design into homes, and these guys have to use them and build with them and learn about them. And that's, I think, where that collaboration comes in, trying to find products that are very innovative, products that are sustainable. I mean, it's a new word that everyone wants to use now, and trying to be ahead of the game. And I think that's where the construction guys work so well with, especially with the front end, which is our design team. And
Yeah, for us, it's good to have them to bounce ideas off and make sure that it can be done, or how do they specifically want it so it's done.
Yeah, so constantly trying to find.
There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and it's just having a collaboration to actually make sure we're all on the same page.
Yep.
Right. So is that
To
sort of
achieve the
how your two teams, like the project management and the design team, collaborate? Is you come up with the concept and the sort of arty part, and then you're like the real world application.
I always joke around and say
100%.
they paint pretty pictures.
100%.
Be translated to an actual build.
100%.
That makes sense.
Definitely makes it difficult. It makes it difficult at some times. These clients obviously see, without making Ross's job sound easy, but it's a client sees lines on a big A3 page or an A5 page or something like that. And then we've obviously got to bring it to life. And sometimes a line that is drawn isn't always the best way or super achievable. So it's just really working in together to make sure drafting clients, obviously myself and the construction team, are all on the same page.
Exactly.
There's so many different ways to obviously design a house, and Ross will get into this,
Yeah.
I'm sure, soon as well.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm talking about with buildability, and having direct contact with the construction team means that we can constantly refine that, because there's no point designing something that doesn't work or it's not how they're going to build it on site.
Yep.
So having that direct feedback, the supervisors come in continuously. We're on the pulse. We know it's going to work.
And we're trying to be ahead of different ideas and things like that. And not always are they going to work, but we want to keep pushing that. We want to push that bar of being a little bit different. You drive down the street and you see a Virtue home, and you can actually see them.
Yeah, they stand apart.
And that's great feedback, because we hear that from clients. They go, you can actually pick the Virtue homes because they actually do have their points of difference, and every home's unique. So trying to create that every single time is really what Ross works on.
Yeah.
And then
would be
these
the
guys have to build,
challenge.
and these guys have to find a way to build
Satisfying.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's where we're very lucky, Nerida touched on as well, that we do have a really good trade base as well that we do rely on, and our trades do get involved with clients sometimes very early as well to ensure whether it's joinery or electrical or different kind of options in that sense, that they actually get involved with clients as well, and obviously help the drafting team and whatnot to make sure that we are designing and incorporating things at a very, very early stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say that that would be a major benefit of Virtue is that
Massive.
everyone's in-house.
Massive,
From the early stages, from sales to drafting right through to the actual construction. So you all understand each other. And I think, Ross, you were telling me the other day that your plans are drawn in a specific way that our tradespeople can read them and understand them. They know your thought processes.
And it just comes back to that relationship that it's been there the whole time, and we're working together so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
And so that word customization, it's a very loosely used word now. Customization doesn't just mean that you've designed something that's from scratch.
Yeah.
Customization is using those same trades that know our product. We've customized it to hone in on what they know, what we expect in terms of quality. Customization just can mean the interaction that the clients get during our design process, during our construction process, after the end, after the maintenance.
It's not just a journey, it's not just a floor plan that's custom. It's not just a different product. It's just a massive journey the whole way through.
It's a interesting word to use, because you see a custom builder, but what does it actually really mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's special.
It's a relationship, and it's a massive relationship. From a lot of the time, a client will obviously walk in the door and see the guys in the display, to then getting the finished product is sometimes 2 years plus. Sometimes it's 12 months. It is a very, very big process. There's obviously multiple people that these clients talk to, touch base with along the way as well, which again just kind of highlights what customization kind of means to a degree, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, amazing. And there's that trust that the team, every department within Virtue has that level of passion and understands what is expected of them and trusting that when you hand the plans over that they're going to deliver it to that same standard.
Yeah, that's right. We're all on the same page with all of that sort of thing, and we all work well together, so nothing's ever a problem.
Yeah. Amazing. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much.
No, that's
I
fine.
appreciate that. We'll skip over to you, Ross. Same as the others. Could you tell me a little bit about your role at Virtue and what it is that you do here?
Yeah, so building design manager, manage the building designers, draftees. We can meet with the client from the very start and just design them a house, whether it's minor changes to a brochure plan or full custom plan.
Right. And when you say minor adjustments or full custom, so does that mean that clients can come to you with pre-existing plans that you alter, or come to you with literally just a Pinterest board of ideas?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Whatever they like. If they've got their heart set on something, we can look at it, help them refine it, or we can come up with something from scratch, which is typically what happens.
Yeah. Amazing. And so then how long have you been at Virtue?
I've been at Virtue 5 years, and I've been in the industry for 11.
Amazing. Okay. And how big is the team that you manage here?
3 people.
Amazing. Working around the clock to deliver dreams.
Yeah, and it's a good little team. Like we found our groove. We work well together. It's really collaborative. That word keeps coming up. But we work well together and we bounce off each other really well, it's great.
And we're really lucky because one of our designers actually won a Design Matters Award last year, and he won two of his designs.
Yeah.
So, we've got people like that. We've got Emma, who's she's just got some amazing creativity, but her attention to detail, her structural knowledge, her plans are just so detailed up so that when that goes to site,
it's easy for us guys at the back end.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's I think what I was talking about.
Very talented team.
Yeah, that the site team are able to read and understand the draft.
Yeah, the level of detail that we actually put into our plans is far more than I've ever done.
We were talking about that
anywhere
today,
else.
actually.
Yeah, if you were to compare them against other design firms or builders, they're pretty detailed.
Yeah.
And it comes back to buildability and working with construction to make sure it actually works.
Yeah.
To do that, you also have to reflect that on the plans.
it's funny. I think about, early days when I was working in the industry, and we didn't have the technology you've got now. So you'd build you design a home for a client, and it was a 2D, and you'd have this facade, and you'd say to people, trust me, it'll look good. And you didn't have, and now we've got this design team, but the technology that we use is just phenomenal. We can actually fly people around the home, show them what it will look like, and change the colours, show them the roof, the windows, everything. And then when we build it, it's literally a picture of what we had flown around the room. So there's no guesswork in this. People can actually see exactly what they're going to build. We can change the colours, we can change the materials, we can change the products. You can change the angle of the 3D flyover from different heights, where the sun sits, where the dust sits. It's an amazing way to work with people now. And I just love going into the boardroom and watching the guys do the 3D fly around, and their clients' faces, they go, oh, wow. Like, it's just such a great feeling to see.
Essentially seeing their dream and their home come to life.
Yeah.
It's come so far, and a lot of draftees still work in 2D, which is wild because you're just almost guessing the outcome.
Yeah.
Like, it's an educated guess, but it's a guess. Whereas we model the entire house. We model everything. It's all built essentially in the program before it's built. Even yesterday, we're talking about a commercial building, but modeling all the ducting to make sure that there's no clashes with the structure, so that on site, streamlined, there's no surprises. And it's that sort of detail you can't get with 2D.
Yeah.
It's also something that really helps us out in the back end, that when we talk about that collaboration, which we've talked about a lot already, if we've got a bit of a tricky roof design or something like that, the supervisors can actually come in and sit with the drafting team for a few minutes and actually run through. They can actually get into that model and do a flyover and remove layers to actually show how we're doing a connection or how this wall reflects the site cut and all these kind of things too. So it's a really, really good thing to do. They can take snippets of that and we can give that to our trades on site and things like that as well. So
really important thing for me too is we have a lot of people come in and say, why build Virtue? So like we've got small builders that are on the tools, and we can interact with them, and it's my builder, or you've got your volume builders that do what they do. So the easiest answer in the world is we actually have teams that specialise in their departments.
Yes.
And our clients get the benefit of that through each of their parts of their building journey.
Yeah.
So rather than a builder that's on the tools and does 4 or 5 houses a year, he doesn't specialise in administration. He doesn't specialise in interior design. He doesn't specialise in estimating. He's a builder. And with the volume builders, you're kind of just a number, where Virtue offers these different teams of people, and we invest a lot of money into education. So we invest a lot of money into programs that these guys watch. They watch webinars all the time, and these guys are at trade webinars all the time. We've got resources like HIA, Master Builders, Design Matters. There's so many different resources out there that we can, and we invest into that. And then what happens is the client gets the benefit of that through each of those stages of their journey, and that's 100% what Virtue offers. And that's probably a really enjoyable thing to say to people, and they go, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That is your point of difference.
In the building design team, like, we try and run it almost as a design firm would operate, so that it's got that integrity of being actually designed properly, as opposed to...
I often say to them, think of yourselves as a design. You're actually architecture, you're a design office.
Yeah, we try and run it as an independent firm within the business, so that it's true to what it needs to be, and it actually works.
Yeah, you're not spreading yourselves too thin.
Yeah.
But you have that benefit of a specialisation for each department, but it's all under the same roof.
You have clients who will come across all
these... There's no outsourcing.
That's right. Yeah. And you have clients that will come across issues with their site, which happens all the time, flood overlays and environmental overlays and different things, that they'll come across, and it's quite overwhelming, where we can go to one of our team members and say, this is what this means, this is what we have to do to overcome this on your site. And we've got guys that specialise in that, and we can give advice, and we've got resources that we can help everybody with different situations. And because it can be a little bit overwhelming. You're a homeowner and you just want to build a home, and you come across all these different issues.
It would be so reassuring as the client to know that whatever problem there is, Virtue will handle it.
Yeah. And
you don't have to take on the responsibility of coordinating between the builders and the design team and everyone else that you might do if you went with a different firm.
100%. Yeah. And it really is kind of that one-stop shop, I guess, within the business. That collaboration, which we keep talking about, but there might be a really, really tricky site, and we get one of the site supervisors out on site very, very early to kind of talk that through with the client. So whatever we have to do to help the client and make their process as easy as possible and as smooth as possible, we kind of do. For a client that might be really tight on timeframes or something, I might come down and meet with the client very early to kind of guide them through what that process is going to be on site and give them that little bit of confidence. So we all kind of pick up the baton when we need to, I guess, within our own expertise, rather than trying to act like we know everything that we actually don't.
Yeah, we had one.
Probably really important.
Yeah, definitely important. We had one the other day, to give you an example, where it was on the side of, of course, side of the cliff, but it was down in West Gippsland. A lot of builders have gone and basically confused the clients. They were like, "Whoa, how do you build on this?" So we took a different approach. We took the builder there, and which was one of our supervisors down that way. I take our design team down there, and we can actually then chat and say, "How do we deal with your site?" They've obviously purchased something that was quite difficult to build on, and budgets sometimes don't always align with what needs to be done. So then, okay, how do we make this work for them so they can use their land? And it's really a group discussion, and then they come up with something that's going to work for the client. So we really can challenge ourselves with those sorts of sites too, where all the builders will go, "No, we're not going to touch it." We're happy to come up with a conversation.
Yeah, we never shy away.
Never shy away.
It seems to be a trend.
Yeah.
I like
We're
that.
all, like I said, get our
Overcome
hands
the
dirty.
challenges.
Yeah, but getting the builders
100%.
involved early, like we can draw pretty pictures and make it look good on paper, but we also have to make sure it will work, and is it the best way to do it for the client?
Yeah.
Is it the most affordable way to do it? Is it going to be able to make them use the land how they would need to use their land?
And that's where I like
Yeah.
how we operate, like at the design team anyway, and being sort of almost separate but part of the business, is that we look at it from a design perspective, whereas other builders may have set plans and stuff like that you can't adopt. Whereas we can throw that out the window and go completely custom like you would with an independent draftsperson.
Yeah.
We can treat it like that from the get-go and treat it that way and then hand it over, as
Yeah.
opposed to being stuck by any constraints.
And an independent draftsperson isn't the builder. So they will design and do all that sort of thing, but they actually struggle a lot to guide on price. We often see plans come in our office and they've spent a lot of money with an independent draftsperson, and we'll give them some figures, and you can just see the deflation. They're just so deflated because it's not what they expected.
Yeah. It
And
can
then-
look incredible, but it's not actually.
That's right.
serviceable.
Whereas we are the builder as well as a designer, so we can
We take that into
draw to
consideration
make
all the way
sure we
And it's
Draw
that,
to the budget.
exactly, and it's
essentially.
that minor details that have changed that, and that's what I'm sort of getting at with talking to construction and getting them into the buildability,
Yes.
because something that looks very similar could be built two different ways, and
Yeah.
the
You could
price
save
could
a
vary
significant amount of money.
significantly. And just
Yeah.
having your finger on the pulse with the construction team to know that this is how it should be done.
Yeah.
This is the best way for the client.
For this, for this exact instance, we do it this way, not that way, and it's
based on this.
that's how it works, and that's the real
Yeah.
difference.
It's really rewarding. We met them. We've entered some homes in the Must Builders again this year, which we've entered them every year. We've actually been very successful with HIA and Master Builders, but it was really interesting. Every year you have a different set of judges that come down, and they usually come down from Melbourne and obviously walk through our homes, and they look at the quality, they look at the interaction with the client, they look at lots of different things. But so we got some wonderful feedback this time from them to say that we actually build beautiful homes, but it was the quality was something that they did talk about, but it was they take the clients away on their own, and they actually ask
That's a
them questions
massive
about
part,
their
yeah.
experience. And it was really nice to hear. They spent about 20 minutes with them, and you think, oh, God, I hope they're saying, nice
Yeah.
things. But
Yeah.
they said of all the homes that they've judged, our clients just seem to be so content, comfortable, just very relaxed, and just couldn't speak more highly. And I just felt, for me, that was such wonderful feedback to get this year when we talked to the judges. So, and during the course of construction, they actually interact quite a lot too. So things like shelving, we don't just go and fit a wardrobe out and say that's what you get. We obviously have our banks of drawers that we allow for and things like that. But on site, we say, where would you actually like them? Let's stand in this room and work out the configurations.
Same with electrical media.
Same with electrical.
As well.
Yeah,
Going
are you
through
happy with the
every
PowerPoint?
specifically where every light is.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
'Cause a lot of
your
people-
bed's going to be on this wall.
Yeah.
You want the PowerPoints.
Yes.
You know,
It's all done in
so-
plan, but then as you don't know what's going
But
on.
a lot of people are visual and they want to walk through the space and they want to see how big is the room. Oh, I actually could probably fit a desk there. Probably do need a PowerPoint for something. I hadn't thought of that.
Of course. Yeah.
So they get that opportunity to walk through with the electrician, and he's fantastic electrician that we work with. So, so we have that interaction on site. It's not just at the front end with our design team. It's right through the whole process.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The design team, we work through the whole project from the very first instance right up to handover. We are touchy the whole way through.
And that, I would say, again, is just another benefit to going custom as opposed to, say, a volume builder.
Yeah.
Or working off plans
True.
is just, that
It's a different process. It's a really
communication,
different process.
that tailoring specifically to you. And you say you looked at the sites, or you'll go out and look at the sites that clients come to you with and draw based on what I say, like the fall.
Oh, there's so many aspects. You could get there and there's a site tree, there's a nature strip tree that you didn't realize is there. It's not on Google Maps, it's not on Near Maps. It shouldn't be there by any right, but it's there. You might get there. There's an electrical pit in the wrong spot. There's so many constraints that you can design around. And that's sort of the idea, is to design around the site and design with the site rather than plonking something that's predetermined on that site that doesn't actually work. And you can make it work. It's just not a great outcome.
Yeah. We see them all the time. You drive down a state, you see the driveway on this really weird angle and you're like, how it's so hard to get into the garage. And you go, okay, because they didn't think it through. They've got NBN, they've got a water point, they've got a stormwater drain, they've got a tree. You can't get into the house. So they've obviously drawn it and put the slab down and have thought about some of these things afterwards. And you're like, oh, the poor people, like we could have worked around that. Some thought should have gone into that solution.
If there's estates that aren't titled yet or in really infant stages of development, we'll actually get engineering plans off the developer as well, which will tell us existing contours, which are subject to change, obviously, but it lays out where they intend on putting side entry pits, where they intend on putting light poles, where they intend on putting trees. And it's still preliminary, but at least it sets us on the right path. And that's that early conversation I'm talking about with Riley, the sales team, where we can be on the right path as early as possible so that we're not coming undone or something that could have been avoided.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much. I think that is all the questions I'm going to grill you with today. But I really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking more as we go through the journey of the podcast.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.